Hi everyone, my name is Rafid Karim, and this summer I've had the incredible experience of interning at Quadrant 2, an amazing company that creates tech for good. This is some of the tech I used over the summer, and I'll get more into it, and this is some of it. There's so much to talk about. And then this is like a very general, vastly simplified timeline of like the tasks that I did. Now, a quick rundown of some important milestones I accomplished thus far is the development of the Jado web app, a browser port that we're working on for an amazing app that allows instant mobile messaging with secure, crowdsourced feedback. Development and implementation of AWS Lambda functions that update data points within our database in real time, and an app that I built from the ground up, the official revamp of I'm Getting Arrested in NativeScript 8. Now, an introduction to my tech life. Working at Quadrant 2, there's a lot of cutting edge tech that you have to learn in order and like acclimate with. With tools like Miro, an amazing whiteboarding app that revolutionized our design reviews, documentation, and planning, I was able to replicate precise details on the vision of the projects that I work with. We also have a tool called ClickUp for our ticketing system, which allows us to make tickets with multiple layers, as well as Slack and GitHub integration, all in an organized, beautiful GUI. It doesn't just end there. We use frameworks like Strapi and other tools like Treble to make this summer one of the most impactful and positive learning experiences of my life so far. And delving deeper into some of the specific milestones of this summer, I'll start with my experience with the Jada web app. It's like a small sneak peek of like what's to come when this app is deployed. And so the Jada web app is currently under development with the goal of extending the Jado app functionality. Jado is an app that allows users to create their very own channels that other users can't subscribe to with complete anonymity. The owners of these channels can then create jots, like a jot asking whether or not you guys supported my mutiny attempts in the cohort during Summer Fridays. And the users of these channels will not only get notified of this jot, but also have the option to send a reaction directly to the owner of the channel. These reactions range from your very own video reply, where you can record yourself swearing your allegiance to me, or just a reaction icon that I define when creating the jot. So in our case, only a thumbs up emoji or yes emoji. Now, these reactions are all private and they're all accessible only by the owner of the channel. Now, while developing the Jada web app, I had to incorporate my knowledge on a framework I had no experience with, Angular. Angular is a framework supported by Google, and it's similar to the one that we learned during our bootcamp, React. It is one of the most popular web development frameworks in the world, and it's one of the many technologies that went into this project. Another tech I used when working on my project on our backend was Strapi. Strapi is a content management system, a headless one, or CMS, and it's a tool that serves as a medium to provide clear and organized way of defining schemas, endpoints, and data within our backend. You guys can think of it as a layer on top of the backend tech that we learned during January, and it provides a very clean GUI to simplify that backend work. Using Strapi, I was able to debug and test Jada web app functionality in real time due to its ability to access the actual database and view related data points in tandem with the development process. This ensured clean code and prevented convoluted and time-consuming bugs that may appear in the future. Now, on the topic of using tools to test my code concurrent with development, Treble provided an amazing functionality that allowed me to put it onto the next level. Treble is an innovative piece of tech that provides next-level documentation on our backend, allowing me to see the status of my requests in real time. With Treble, not only did I have a view of all the endpoints that are part of our backend, I can see everything about these requests I made, ranging from the actual request body, the response, metadata, analytics of where these are being made, what kind of device, and so much more in a very clean, digestible UI. Working with multiple domains and environment stages as we do, on top of multiple apps and projects, each with their own unique stages and domain names, Treble really allowed me to know exactly where and when my information was being sent, giving me an inside peek onto things that normally would not be available. Now, I'm Getting Arrested. This is my personal favorite project of this summer, recreating the app that made waves during the Occupy Wall Street movement and featured in many news stations, The purpose of this app is to notify your loved ones in the unfortunate scenario that you're being arrested. I refactored it to now extend upon Jado functionality, and I made it so it could finally uphold that purpose it was created for almost 10 years later. More than 10 years later, actually. Now, this is a quick demo of the functionality, and you'll notice that there's a lot of API services that are keeping this app functional. As you can see, we have a form within this app, and this form has your option to enter your name and a message that you could send to your loved ones. And in that form, there's two options where you could allow your location, as you can see here, and a color picker, which we'll get onto later. It also has a privacy policy, which I'll be clicking in right here. You could read that, go through it. And now after that, all I got to do is click the check on the top right, and I have my button. Now, on the top left is a button to open up a QR code. This QR code, you could even scan it right now, and it'll allow you to open up Jado, as you will see it soon. You could save the image or share the link as well. Now, I'm going to go back to the form, enable the color picker. Personally, I'm from Bangladesh. Shout out to Bengalis everywhere. So I'm going to make my button look like the Bengali flag. And yeah, so this only works when you touch the actual button, which has a whole history behind it, using the Pythagorean theorem that I don't even want to get into right now. But yeah, so we could, if you hold it for 3 seconds, you'll see that the notification modal that it's being sent is shown. And boom, that's the IGA side of it. Now for your loved ones can simply scan the QR code that you just saw, open that channel that you named. This is the one that we just saw. But now currently I'm holding the button in the background and I clicked it again, right? And if you go back to the channel, you can even see that a new notification is created right here. And this new notification has a location option, as you remembered earlier, that shows exactly where you got arrested. Right here, it says San Francisco. This is because the emulators that we are using to test this app are all hosted in a place in San Francisco, but everything works. This is a really, really strong device to keep your loved ones informed. Now, some of the tech that we used during this project are shown here, and we see some familiar names like Sharpie and Treble. NativeScript, one of them is NativeScript, and NativeScript is a core development framework that we use. It's a hybrid mobile development framework that allows us to create truly native apps for both iOS and Android in a singular code base. NativeScript also allows you to use Angular flavor to incorporate Angular styled coding into the actual app development. This allows easier code handling and maintaining, centralizing all platforms in just one place. And lastly, we also use Bitrise, an absolutely breathtaking tool that, when used correctly, automates the building and development of your project with an amazingly easy to understand GUI and pleasurable user experience. Defining your workflows requires little to no effort, and you can save so much time and energy implementing this tool for your continuous integration and development needs. We used Bitrise to create builds of my app and then push it to App Tester on Google's Firebase, allowing us to test this app on our very own devices before we even send it to App Store and Google Play. Special thanks to all of these people right here. Jason, amazing manager, made the work environment amazing. I felt so comfortable. It was a very lovely experience. Jonathan, Susanna, Davo, all extremely helpful coworkers who made sure that I got all of the information I needed while working. Ariel for teaching me during the boot camp. All my teachers as well. I believe Weiss was here earlier. Shout out to him. These are all very, very influential people who helped me get to where I am today. My fellow interns, Diego is one of them. And the other interns who worked with me made the experience even more enjoyable. And lastly, AJ and Cliff, genuinely, I have to thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity. It really is life-changing, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much, guys.